I'm here with Bo Barrett of Chateau Montelena Winery, following a great tasting of a whole series of estate Cabernets and Chard and Riesling and Zinfandel. And one of the things that sort of struck me, Bo, in your discussions was a lot of times when we talk about Napa Valley, we don't really talk about soil. We don't talk about terroir in the Napa Valley. We talk about that in Burgundy and Bordeaux. And I think you made a really compelling case that dirt matters, and dirt matters for you.
Yeah.
And I guess I'd like to hear a little bit about that.
Well, we have a really unique spot because we have a very complex soil system, so that it's what makes us unique. So that's what we would talk about it more than most. And the interrelationship of soil and wine quality is very well established, but it's what makes our wine special and unique. Not just so much of the wood or the ripening or the light, but it's the piece of ground. And that's our whole philosophy is to capture that land and that light and that year and put it in a bottle. And so it's our strength, so naturally we would play that out.
Sure. Do you, and you talk about kind of 3 different soil types that you work with?
Right, in the Napa Valley basically it's formed by the action of the tectonic plate formed the valley. So basically there's the alluvial soil, and then which is the infill where the soil washes down off a mountain range and fills in the bottom. That's called the alluvial or the alluvial system. Then where it washes off, you have the volcanics or the ancient seafloor. So basically where Napa Valley ends, one side, the Mayakama side, runs all up and it's the ancient seabed, the Spring Mountain side with all the trees and stuff like that. Where the really rich soils on the west side of Napa Valley, as you go up the valley on your left. On the eastern side, you can see it's just a lot of rock outcrops and very escarpment type of stuff and very small trees and scrub brush. It's not because there's more water on either side, it's basically the soil is not very rich. So that's the Sonoma volcanics, they're called, are exposed. And then basically where those sedimentary soils fill in the bottom, you get all 3. So on this 100-acre piece, we have all 3 of the main soil types, and the interplay is what gives the complexity to our wine.
Okay. And so that speaks really to the Cabs and the Zinfandel.
That's correct.
And then for the Chardonnay, that's farther south.
The Chardonnay, yes, that's in. It's actually it's called a clay loam. It's further south. Again, thinking about how rivers work, including the Napa rivers that go to the south, the finer silty particles are carried further south towards the bay where the water slows down, and then the lighter particles start to fall out. So that's how you make a clay soil. Is basically the finer particles. If you think about how smooth clay is. And a clay soil has the same type of thing. A good water holding capacity, so there you want to grow Chardonnay, which likes clay in general, in California anyway, and Merlot, things that are actually grow better in that soil because they're not really excessively rich soils, because clay soils can be nutrient deficient, or you don't grow only melons on there too. So that's how the Chardonnay works. It's just. But the Chardonnay is basically a fruit flavored thing. We don't think about the terroir. When you press a white grape, there's just so much less going on. So you're basically working in layers of fruit. It's a completely different media. You don't really need as much terroir. The flavor of the soil has a lot harder time getting into white grapes, with the exception of calcium soils that you'll see in Burgundy or down in Pinnacles. There's very few on our tectonic plate. There are no calcium soils. They're all on the Pacific plate. So that's why it's down south of Monterey. West of the San Andreas Fault.
Thank you very much, Bill.